Today, we're really getting into the weeds by looking at something super simple on the surface, two transcripts detailing the entire daily routines of two people, Emily and Paul.
Yeah, we've got the full day, from wake-up call right through to lights out.
And it sounds basic, maybe, but we're digging deep.
Right. Our mission here is, to pull out the core insights from this source material.
Yeah.
What are the surprising differences? What are the common threads? We want to show how these, tiny choices, what time you wake up, what you drink first, actually shape the whole structure of a life.
And right off the bat, the main thing that jumps out is this huge contrast. It really boils down to, are you a morning person or more of a night owl?
Emily is definitely our morning person. Her routine kicks off immediately, very intentionally. She wakes up at 6 a.m.
Every single day.
Every day. And the sources stress this includes weekends. That's serious commitment. That's the real deal.
It's not just the time, it's what she does immediately. First thing, opens the window, gets fresh air, drinks a big glass of water. It feels very proactive, healthy.
Then she exercises. And she chooses tea, specifically not coffee. Says it gives her a feeling of calm.
Which makes sense. And because she's up so early, it follows that she goes to bed early too, right?
Yeah.
Around 10:00 p.m., usually after reading a bit.
Exactly. Now, Paul operates on a totally different clock. He flat out says, I am not a morning person.
Okay. Relatable for some of us.
Yeah. Weekdays, he's up at 8 a.m. Weekends, he admits he sleeps in really late. And where Emily goes for water and calm.
Paul needs coffee.
Instantly.
Yeah.
Big cup. He needs that energy boost. Rocket fuel, as you called it before we started.
Right. That immediate kickstart. And his evenings kind of mirror that, don't they? He stays up late, often 11:30 p.m., maybe even midnight.
He does. And the reason he says he likes the quiet of the night.
That's interesting. So they both value quiet, but at opposite ends of the day.
Exactly. Emily finds her quiet first thing, uses it to build discipline for the day. Paul finds his quiet late at night, maybe more as a reward or escape after the day.
One's proactive calm, the other's reactive respite.
That's a great way to put it, proactive versus reactive.
Okay, so their internal rhythms are totally different, but they both start work at 9:00 a.m. How does that morning energy difference, play out once they're actually at work?
Well, it leads to completely different work environments, as you might expect. Emily's job seems tailor-made for her. She works at a small library.
Loves books, quiet environment, checks out.
Right. She describes it as nice and quiet, but she still interacts with people. It's not isolating.
And the commute fits, too. A simple 10-minute walk. She listens to music or a podcast. It's like a little buffer zone.
A gentle transition. Now, contrast that with Paul. He's in an office.
Okay.
And he makes a point of saying it is not quiet.
Okay.
And his commute. No gentle stroll there. He drives a car. Often hits bad traffic.
Oof. That's stressful before the workday even begins. Does it seem like that gets to him compared to Emily's calm start?
The sources suggest it takes more out of him, yeah. His afternoon is described as busy. Lots of emails, phone calls. Needs more coffee.
The famous more coffee.
It definitely sounds like a more demanding, reactive environment, external pressures dictating the pace.
Whereas Emily's afternoon at the library sounds more relational. She's interacting with families, kids, sometimes reading stories. A shift from quiet work to gentle interaction.
Yeah, different kind of energy. So really, the only concrete thing they share structurally is that 9 to 5 time frame. Everything else seems polarized.
And that split carries right on through to how they eat, how they fuel themselves.
Absolutely. It connects directly back to their energy needs. Emily's breakfast, light, yogurt and fruit, maybe some toast with jam.
Simple.
And lunch shows her organization. She usually brings something from home, a salad or sandwich, eats it outside in a park near the library if the weather's good.
So her lunch break is kind of an extension of her morning vibe, calm, self-contained.
Exactly. Paul, on the other hand, needs that upfront fuel. Big breakfast, eggs, toast, and of course,
the mandatory coffee.
And his lunch. It's social. He usually meets up with his friend David at a cafe nearby. They talk sports, movies.
So Emily's lunch is a quiet solo recharge. Paul's is this energetic social break.
Totally different needs being met there.
Okay, now evening. This is where we see how they, unwind or compensate for their day. Emily enjoys cooking dinner around 7:00 p.m.
Yeah, she makes healthy stuff, vegetables, chicken, fish, and she calls cooking creative.
Interesting. Paul
admits he is not a good cook. His specialty, simple pasta, often just with tomato sauce, gets the job done.
Practical. No creativity needed, just fuel.
Pretty much.
Okay, this next part I find fascinating. How their hobbies seem to perfectly balance their workdays. Emily, after her relatively low-stress day.
She reads books. It's
Yeah.
low input, introspective. She says it lets her travel to other worlds. A quiet continuation of her day's theme.
Makes sense. Paul, though, after the traffic, the noisy office, the emails, he needs an outlet.
Exactly. He needs an expressive output. His hobby is music,
Yeah.
listening to rock and jazz, louder stuff. And importantly, playing his guitar for about an hour.
Ah, okay. So he's not just consuming, he's creating. He's
Mhm.
channeling that built-up energy or tension.
Precisely. He converts the stress of his day into something physical, something auditory. Emily absorbs, Paul expresses.
That really clicks. Her reading maintains her baseline calm. His guitar playing balances out his high-stress input. The hobbies are like perfect counterweights to their 9-to-5 lives.
It really seems that way.
Yeah.
Speaking of daily rituals, we should touch on companions, pets specifically.
Right. Pets are a big part of Emily's after-work routine. She gets home at 5:00, and her dog Max is right there, excited to see her.
And the first thing she does is take him for a walk in the park. So that integrates activity, fresh air right back into her evening, reinforces her whole approach.
Consistent. Paul, though, no pet mention for him.
No, he doesn't have one. But he does talk about his friend's cat, Leo. And the description is quite telling.
Oh, how so?
Leo is described as very lazy. His life consists of waking up, eating, and sleeping again. Paul calls it a very simple life.
Wow, okay, a simple life. That's almost the polar opposite of Paul's own day. The commute, the busy office, the constant need for coffee.
Right. You have to wonder if maybe Leo represents something. Paul kind of longs for that effortless quiet, a total escape from the daily grind.
I think you're onto something there. Leo is like the ultimate low-energy ideal, but both of them do connect with family.
They do prioritize that. Paul calls his parents regularly, Wednesdays and Sundays, and his sister a few times a week, usually in the evening.
That's quite frequent during the work week, fitting more interaction into his already busy schedule.
It is. Emily, according to the sources, generally calls her parents on the weekend.
So again, Paul packs more social connection into his high-input weekdays, while Emily reserves that for her more relaxed weekend time. It all fits the pattern.
It really does. Which, brings us to how we even know all this. The underlying structure of how they describe their lives is all about consistency.
Yeah, when you read the transcripts, the power comes from that repetition. They talk about their lives using verbs that show habits, routines, things they do every day, or sometimes, or never.
They weren't describing one specific Tuesday. They were describing the template of their days.
Exactly, and the language they used reflects that. It's that simple present tense. I walk, you drink, he drives, she reads.
Right. And the key grammatical point the sources highlight, which is maybe easy to overlook, is that little A's for he, she, and it. Max plays, Leo eats, she reads. But I walk, they call.
And using do or does for questions. Do you like coffee? Does he sleep a lot? That basic structure is what lets them paint such a complete picture.
It's the language of routine.
Yeah.
And relying on that structure really underscores the discipline involved in living these routines. Their lives aren't defined by dramatic one-offs, but by these steady, predictable actions.
The simplicity of the grammar forces you to focus on the commitment, day in, day out.
So if we zoom out, what's the big picture here on managing energy? We've got two people, same 9-to-5 framework on paper.
But totally different experiences. Emily's day seems focused on preserving her natural calm, sustaining it.
While Paul's day feels more about surviving the stress, inputs the traffic, the noise, and then finding an active way to release that accumulated tension.
And we saw how easily you can communicate a whole personality, a whole life structure just by focusing on those routine actions. We get a strong sense of who they are just by knowing if they walk or drive, if they grab a book or a guitar.
Exactly. The specific choices, coffee versus tea, guitar versus book, dog versus traffic, those are the things that define the individual experience and, frankly, make life interesting.
So we've analyzed Emily and Paul's daily stories. We saw how one single habit, maybe waking at 6 a.m. or needing that first coffee, can ripple outwards and shape almost everything else.
It really can determine where you work, how you eat, even when you finally switch off for the night.
We saw how Paul's guitar playing seems to balance out the stress of his commute and office. So, the question for you, listening now, is maybe this. What's the hidden habit, the compensatory ritual you rely on, maybe without even realizing it, to recover from the demands of your own daily grind?